Good evening and welcome to Stupid O'Clock News. I'm Lewis Lee. It was 3 years ago that U.S. Embassy personnel in Cuba and China reported headaches, earaches, and other maladies that they blamed on a constant piercing noise. Since then, the employees have been studied and the results are frightening. A report on the results of the testing and research from a committee of 19 medical experts and scientists that was released just today show the employees were likely exposed to microwave energy. According to the report, all employees tested showed marked changes in their brain structure. Some areas of the brain showed increased activity, while many more showed slow or diminished activity. Symptoms of those believed to be targeted by the attacks were persistent headaches, difficulty reading and concentrating, mental fog, dizziness, irritability, as well as memory and sleep problems. Scientists concluded that the damage to the brain is consistent with a directed pulse radio frequency energy. Federal law enforcement are now involved in the investigation. Unfortunately, that is not a joke. That is the absolute truth. That's the news. Let's start the show.
Damn.
Yeah.
I was all queued up for a rim shot or a good night, everybody, but whoa.
Sorry. That was too important to ignore and too important to make light of.
Yeah. Go ahead and bring our military expert in here. That looks
you know who
like
they're blaming for it, don't you?
Who?
Russia.
Probably.
Yep. Well, they're the only ones really sophisticated enough to have pulled it off.
Or to have given it to Cubans to pull it off.
Yeah.
Did you say Cuba and Chinese?
Yep.
Oh.
Hey, there's a skunk.
There's skunk. Go ahead.
Yeah, the Cuban embassy got all the press, and because of the particular political climate here 3 years ago, the Chinese connection was played down.
Yeah. Whoa. Willow Scholar just jumped in. We are now our international viewer, Willow Scholar. Welcome.
Gentleman, obviously, she's never seen the show before.
Well, we do have a reputation to exceed.
Yeah.
She don't know we do, she.
Well, she will before the show's out.
I don't know, Lewis. You need to drop in on the green room from Uncle Carl's Secret Humors page sometime.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. We're mild.
Tame.
We're tame. Have you ever dropped in there, John?
Yes. This show and his green room is like the difference between Romper Room and Hugh Hefner's late night Playboy channel. Okay.
Hey, Joe Dog tries to keep it clean. So
okay. I was
we play by the rules.
Pointing at me for a second. I was like, I didn't.
No. Joe Dog.
Hold on a minute.
Oh,
now.
That
yeah,
guy.
Joe Dog. Him. Yeah.
He did it. Okay.
Yeah, and for those tuning in, Heather is studying
on
for
assignment.
Heather's on assignment.
Literally.
Heather is studying her assignments.
On assignment, studying her assignment so that she can get an assignment in a hospital.
Just out of curiosity, is Canada international?
Yes.
What do you
Yes,
mean?
John, it's literally international for us.
Anything north of the Mason-Dixon is international.
Well, no,
Oh.
I mean, if we're,
It wouldn't
I
be
was-
intercontinental, but it is
that's
international.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
couldn't remember.
Exactly.
I know it's a different nation, but that's
Don't stop, Skylar. That's one of the most endearing qualities of Canadians.
Yes.
hey.
Did you see
That and their
That's
love
one
of
of the
beer.
least, John.
Did you see Canada's Black Friday opening at Best Buy?
No, we're shoppers holding the door for others.
No, they slid the doors open and everybody just walked in calmly. And the store employees were clapping their hands, welcoming them in, and
They weren't
pointing-
ducking for cover.
No.
Oh wow!
Or waiting for an
That is
ambulance after
unusual.
being stomped
Hey,
over. Yeah.
You know, me personally, I think they need to put one of those NFL training obstacle courses right inside the door to like Best Buys and Target and stuff like that, where they have
Only
to
the
run through
fit
the tires and stuff. Yeah, and there's a couple of guys off to the side with big Nerf guns shooting people as they run by, and balance beam.
That wouldn't work here. You'd need flamethrowers
Big
and
employees with
anti-tank
fuel
weapons.
sticks, and
I want to point out I was at Best Buy today, and I was
You have my
unable to.
condolences.
I was
Oh.
unable to make a purchase
Why not?
really.
because Best Buy was closed.
Was closed today,
Closed.
Saturday.
In the
Why?
The
Closed
power
for
went out.
repairs. That's
I didn't hear you. Say it again.
We can't.
Power went out.
Power went out?
Oh, no electricity, no cash registers, no
Wow.
need to open.
Nothing. The entire
that's a tough thing to happen in the
the
electronic
staff. Yeah, the staff were standing outside just telling people that were walking up, like, we're sorry, we can't let anybody into the building. Our power is out. What was really weird about it was Best Buy was the only store in that shopping center on Gun Barrel that had a power issue.
Hmm.
You know what you should
Frank,
Sounds like sabotage to me.
You know what you
Sounds like somebody didn't pay the bill last night.
Have you tried turning it off and back on again?
Oh, they
Have
saw
you
me. They
ever
were
seen
like,
Best Buy when
No,
it's
they put-
turned on?
They put the Geek Squad on it.
well, but they saw me, and they, of course, they recognized me. They were like, "Hey, Kyle," and I was like, "Hey," and I walked up and was standing in line because I thought what they were actually doing, because there was a line forming, and what I thought they were actually doing was preventing people from coming into the building because of COVID. They're trying to keep their numbers down, but that wasn't the case. I started hearing people around me saying like, "Oh, their power is out. Oh no!" And then they finally made the announcement their power was out a few minutes later, and said they weren't letting anybody else into the building. Right? Okay.
Hey, Skunk,
So I
just
sat
so
there
you
for a minute.
know, your picture is kind of blurry.
I know.
And your sound is
I know.
distorted.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah, don't start this tonight with me.
And you're way out of sync.
I
But
know.
that's okay.
Okay.
You
All
want
right.
to know? Do you want to know why? I'm
Well,
working
your
on stuff for
bandwidth
the
is way down.
I'm working on stuff for the after show and
Oh,
premiere.
and it's
Okay.
Yeah.
and it's robbing his CPU.
Processor. Yeah.
So,
it's robbing
as
Peter
I was-
to pay Paul, of course.
Okay.
As I say, so they, of course, all these guys know who I am. So, they're all like, "Hey, how you doing?" And when they finally did the big announcement that, "Oh yeah, the power is out, they're not letting anybody in the building," of course, everybody else leaves. And I just walk up, and somebody who didn't realize that I was standing there originally, because I was, again, in line, goes, "Oh, hey, Kyle." And I looked at him, and I was like, "Hey, man." He's like, "Yeah, we can't let anybody in the building, power's out." It's like, "Oh, I heard. I came over here to mock y'all." And it took them a second to realize I was kidding. They kind of looked at me like, "How did you know?" "Oh, you were standing out here a second ago." Yeah, exactly.
Really. Hey, Joe, shoot Willow a link. So
Hey, Willow, you want to jump in with us? Shoot me a private message real quick, and I'll send you a link.
Yeah, we're a little low on estrogen tonight.
Yeah.
I am so not touching that line.
It's best you don't.
You
Don't know where I live.
Don't know where it's been.
Want a bit? I can see your house from down here.
No, that's mine. I'm lit up for Christmas.
Oh no.
No, I'm not.
I've got my tree up, but I don't have any exterior lights because my grandson's kind of being a jerk.
I don't know how Lindsay's going to cope with the lights on the Christmas tree this year. I can't even have a space heater to keep my feet warm. Our furnace went out after 15 years.
Okay,
Well,
in the summertime, it was hot where you are, and now you need environmental controls.
Yeah. Well, I've
Now,
got
wait a minute.
something
I
that
see
is
a
working.
heater right there behind you.
What?
Yeah, I see a radiator,
Well, yeah, it's on.
Oh,
and you're still cold.
The door is closed, and I've got a blanket in my lap, and I'm wearing a house coat.
Yeah.
Good grief.
Okay. Willow says she's got to go to bed soon. She's got to go to work in the morning.
Hey, Dan,
Sounds like a
That's
Thursday
code.
night for
That's
us.
code for she doesn't want to slum it.
Yeah.
hey, Dan, I've got a reptile heater out in the garage. I can mail it to you.
Yeah, that might work for my feet.
There you go. Hey, once your feet are warm, the rest of you is fine.
Yeah, well, I can't get the cat to get out of the other chair.
Sprinkle some catnip on your slippers.
On the blanket over my slippers.
And the cat will sit there and lay on your feet. Problem solved.
Hey, John, I was talking about they were allowing us beards when I was in the Navy.
Oh, somebody pop him up to full screen.
Oh, let me. I can't. There we go.
There we go.
There's a couple of guys from our cruise book sporting full beards. And let's see. Yeah, that guy sitting in the chair there. That's serious face fur there.
They've all.
Yeah.
I noticed they've
We used
all
to get these cruise books for our cruises. Isn't that
They've
cool?
all got the.
It's like a yearbook for your cruise.
They've all got the work in the ship flash blindness going on too.
Yeah, well, that was the page like everybody was asleep joke. But yeah,
Pay
man.
no attention
wow.
to the man behind the
Hey,
camera.
a meal pass. I can go get me a free meal. That's cool.
I used to always.
Is it still good?
No.
More than likely.
This one expiration date 31 March 1979.
Of course, the food has been in the cooler for all that time.
They saved it for you.
Wonderful. Yeah. Bunch
I
of
didn't get an
squash
opportunity I didn't get an opportunity to work on this thing.
That's
So I'm working
fine.
on it now.
That's okay.
Yeah, we're just.
there's my boot camp portrait.
What happened to the corner of it?
Not much. Oh, it was in a different frame.
Whoever
I
put
think
it.
I aged gracefully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lewis. Next
Still
time
got the
somebody
same chin and the same nose.
next
Yeah.
time somebody asks you that question, said you were on a tight budget and had to cut corners.
Perfect. I should have thought of that.
Oh,
And actually,
Come on, John. You
that-
thought that was funny.
that is actually a running joke on Battlestar Galactica. If you don't remember, there are no square corners on any of the tablets or papers or anything.
Mm-hmm.
It was in this, the reboot, but it was also in the first series. ABC told who was it? Glenn Larson? Is that who did Galactic?
Yep.
They told Glenn Larson he had to cut corners on the budget, and told one of the prop guys, "Okay, cut all the corners off every square thing in the place." So, and that's what the running joke was. When ABC said, "I thought we told you to cut corners," we did. And Ron Moore carried it through in the new series.
Now that's dedication.
Well, Glenn Larson actually gave him the blessing to go with the series. So,
Well, yeah.
What's funny is in printing, if you wanted rounded corners on something, that cost a lot extra.
Oh. So,
oh,
my mom called me this morning right after I woke up, and I had to go over to her house and do her WIC shopping for her because the one kid that's out of school because he's in quarantine because of COVID. Well, mom can't go anywhere because she's in COVID. She's in quarantine too. So I had to go to the Food City there in Fort Beaufort and buy all her stuff today. Well, technically I didn't buy it, but
I'm not going to make any jokes about renting food because you always have to give it up later.
Well, I don't know if you've ever seen the WIC vouchers.
Yeah.
They usually print 3 things on each voucher.
I lived through the 70s. Yeah.
Milk, juice, and whatever, and then whatever's on the next one. Fresh 9 pounds of fruit, things like that.
Yeah.
36 ounces of oatmeal, stuff like that.
Eggs,
dozen eggs, 3 gallons of whole milk, stuff like that. But
you get a dozen eggs, but 3 gallons of whole milk.
Well, you get a dozen eggs, you get the milk for the protein. Of course, like all the babies drink milk. So, not everybody eats eggs. It's hard to get kids to eat eggs unless you like dye them in pink and stuff.
I'm allergic to eggs, so I can't eat eggs at all.
Right. I was just thinking how
no. So it must be
a dozen eggs.
Must be hard for you to take any kind of vaccinations then, because
they're all
a lot of them.
based.
Yeah.
No, egg based anymore.
No, I'm. And by the way, if you're wondering why my camera isn't up, there's a reason.
You're conserving video.
Yes.
Yeah, bandwidth. Yeah, we get it.
Digital bandwidth, but
processing power.
Yeah, processing power. I can have a little bit of egg. What I cannot have is I can't have a lot of egg. Scrambled eggs, eggs over easy, deviled eggs, mayonnaise, all of that off the table. But I can have like French toast. That's only got a little bit of egg in it.
Of course,
so it's a dietary thing. It's not an allergy thing, but it's a dietary thing.
Yeah.
No, it's an allergy thing. If I eat too much of eggs, like it's a mild allergy, but it's enough that like if I eat like whole eggs, then I'll like start like breaking out in hives and puking all over the place. Yeah.
Well, it makes me thankful that I'm egg-centric.
But what I was getting at earlier about those WIC vouchers.
Me without a drum set.
What do you mean without a drum set?
He said
eccentric. Drums.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
The dog couldn't stand them, and I just didn't have time to play them anymore. And I mean, I miss them, but look how much room I've got in my office now.
Wow.
Yeah, I would say that the size of that office, that drum set was probably taking up a lot of room.
It was taking all the room, and so now I've got a big enough area now that I can actually set up an interview set. I can actually do some video and film work in my office.
Electric drums.
Yeah, well, that's what Dan suggested, and I would consider it, but I was always a purist, and in the 80s when they started going to electronic drums, and even Phil Collins went to an electronic drum set. I just said no. That's
sampling.
Sounds like crap.
Sampling these days, you can get the exact sound.
But
all you need is a surface for the drumsticks to hit.
Yeah, but it's not the same feel. You can't do a rim shot. There's a lot of disadvantages.
Oh, yes,
There are plenty of disadvantages. And let me explain. Let me explain real quick. Right. The reason that you play an electronic drum set, the only reason to ever play an electronic drum set, in my opinion, is if you specifically want digital sounding drums. If you want to have those, 808 style or 909 style, like they sound like the drum machine, but play them as an actual drum set. That's the only reason to ever do it. You want that electronic from your toms.
Yeah.
That's the only reason that you get that you use an electronic drum set. Under no circumstances should you ever, because as much as the sampling does sound good nowadays with the very high quality samples they can use in those drum sets, you still do not get the same exact sound you do from an actual drum set. And there's so much stuff that you can do with actual drums you still can't do with an electronic drum set. Like, for example, with an electronic drum set, you can't stop a cymbal once you start it.
Nope.
There's no way to reach out and grab the cymbal. Exactly.
Yep.
And also, have you ever tried playing an electronic drum set with brushes? Can't do it.
Nope.
No, that's a separate setting.
I do a lot of jazz, and I do a lot of Beatles. And I'm sorry, Ringo's sound does not translate to electric.
Yeah.
No.
ZZ Top's like that too. That if you've got
But we do see your T-shirt, so we know that
I am still repping. Yeah.
Under duress.
Yeah,
but I made $100 profit off of them. I bought them for $150 and I sold them for $250.
Those are only $150. They sounded amazing for only $150.
Man, I got them. I got them at a pawn shop. I actually went in the pawn shop looking for a lens, for a prime lens, because sometimes you get lucky. And I saw the drum sitting there, and I'm like, this has got to be a mistake. They can't be this cheap. This is a $500 set of drums. You know? I mean, they were pearl. But
brand name.
Yep.
Yeah, the brand name.
I would have preferred Ludwig because that was Ringo.
The other brand name.
Yeah. Well, there's a few good makers, but Ludwig and Pearl are the tops. But I did have the Zildjian cymbals all the way. Crash, ride, hi-hat were all Zildjian. So.
And Chris goes, nice deal. You made a nice deal, Lewis.
Yeah.
Now you sent the video of that girl explaining how Ringo played. Did you see the video that was tagged along with it of Ringo explaining how he played it?
Yeah. He was explaining that he was a left-handed drummer playing on a right-handed set. And that's exactly my situation. I'm a left-handed drummer, but I always set my trap set up right-handed, mostly because when I learned, it wasn't my set. It was the school's set. I played in East Jefferson High School's jazz band, and multiple people were using those drums. And I was the only lefty in the whole bunch. So I had to learn to play a trap set that was set up for a right-hander. And when I found out that about Ringo, I'm like, oh, that explains so much.
And his sound, I don't care what you say, a drummer is the heart of a band.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ringo had the best musical sense of any drummer I've ever known because he knew exactly when to pull back and not be there. I mean, sometimes he would just completely drop off, or I mean, like in Come Together, most of it's just boom, 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 boom. You know, but then, he starts it off. Yeah. Boom, boom. You got two hits on the bass, some triplets on the hi-hat, and then a roll down on the toms.
A lot of that is not only the drummer's skill, but it's how well they mesh with the rest of the band as a unit.
Yeah, exactly. He had a musical sense. He didn't just have timing, or he wasn't out for it just for the fills.
Unintended.
He had a lot in common with oh crap! I just
Bonham.
had his name.
Yeah, John Bonham was another one that really. Chris Walker saying John Bonham.
Keith Moon.
Mm.
That's the one I was looking for. The sloppy drums, but
yeah. And of course Neil Peart.
Yeah.
Oh God. Now,
The
that
god-
was precision.
God of drums.
That
Now-
was precision right there.
Yes.
Now, I was watching something where some drummer was talking about going and playing with different bands, and he would only show up the first time with them with the, I guess you call them the hi-hat, the ones that you can tap your foot to make it go tss, tss, tss.
Yeah.
A kick drum and the little drum to the side.
Snare.
A
The
snare, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what he would show up with until they played good enough for him to add in
The rest of the kit.
Well, the kit that I had was actually one drum more than Ringo had. I had 2 mounted toms. He only had 1. He had a mounted tom, floor tom, bass, snare, and 3 cymbals:
3
ride,
cymbals,
crash,
yes.
and hi-hat.
Mm.
Well,
Yes.
technically 4. The hi-hats too.
Well, yeah, but we'll give you that one. Have
Chris
you
Walker
ever
says-
seen the video of the drummer from Queen having his drum set built around him while he plays a solo?
No, that would be cool.
It gets incredible, and then it goes into "I'm in Love with My Car," which was a song that he wrote for the band. If you ever get a chance, please do check that out. You will sit there and go, "Oh, and now I'm jealous."
All right, Skunk's back to full resolution. He doesn't look like Max Headroom anymore.
Yeah. We didn't realize you were robbing your processor. That's why we kept asking what was going wrong. If you did,
Nothing was going wrong. There was method in that madness.
yeah, he just didn't let us know the method was going on. We were worried.
Thought somebody had pulled his bandwidth.
Yeah.
Somebody
Oh,
downloading 4K movies or something?
No,
I thought
somebody's
maybe
got
he
a
was-
printer going on.
I thought maybe he was the reason that Best Buy's power went out. Just it was like radioactive or something, or playing around with the microwave gun.
Even I can't think fast enough to come up with a topper for that.
So yeah, I have this now, or I can switch cameras on the fly.
All right.
What did you get?
Yay!
It's not
The
special
switcher?
at all. I'm doing it through OBS.
Okay.
Ah,
This is my cell phone.
Oh.
There's an app you can get. It's free if you're wanting to do it in standard definition, and it's $6 to do it in HD. But you can transfer video over Wi-Fi through your cell phone to OBS. Yep.
Wow.
And I could just click a button and switch. And what's really neat about it is that not only can I do the front camera, which is what I'm doing right now, right? But I can hit a button and switch to the back camera. And you can see my horrible, terrible room.
Wow, I thought my office was cramped.
Yeah. I've
Oh
way,
man.
I have
Don't
way
feel
too much
bad.
stuff.
Don't feel bad. The only reason that you're seeing this right here, nice and neat, is because all the crap's over there.
Yeah. Yeah.
all right.
Unfortunately,
I do want to thank y'all for Thursday night. Nick and I stayed up till 3 a.m. in the after show, and I still had to go to work the next day. God, the man is the rapid fire wit, and it was fun trying to keep up with him. Let me tell you, I had a great time.
Hey, usually he's wired out on caffeine.
You caught him
That
on a non-caffeinated night.
Yeah, we caught him on a decaffeinated night.
You know
Oh,
what's
well,
really funny?
he showed up in my People You May Know on Facebook. So I said,
Yeah.
what the hell? So I clicked it, and he immediately responded. So we're Facebook friends now.
So
Yeah, he was a
did
cool
that,
guy.
I did that at 3 a.m. last night.
So here's the thing I'm noticing, right? The actual camera on the phone is you got a slight delay to OBS. OBS has a slight delay to StreamYard. So I'm way out of sync.
And StreamYard has a slight delay to the reality.
Well, for what they offer and what they do at the price they do, it's a damn good system.
You know, I wish I had taken advantage of that $10 thing, but I don't do that many broadcasts, so I can see the reason.
I got it. I spent the money, and here's the thing. Here's the trick. This is what Joe didn't know about. It didn't tell you. I didn't find out about it until I paid for it. You get all of the benefits of what Joe's already paying for, except the reason why you get such a discount, StreamYard puts a little logo up in the corner of your video.
Mhm.
It's not the big logo. You know how they have the one logo that StreamYard has that looks like this?
The duck.
Yeah.
It's not that logo. It's a little smaller. It's a little more slick. Right? And it's just right up there in the corner. It's a little tiny one. So my solution to that was to take, I made an overlay, right? I did an overlay. It's very similar to this one, right? Except except it was themed towards Scrub House because that's probably what we're going to use it for. And I put a little, brought to you by, and then that synced up perfectly with where I took a picture to make sure I got it's perfectly where the StreamYard is. So it says brought to you by StreamYard because I'm classy like that.
Yes, you are.
I'm looking at the YouTube feed for our show right now, and I'm not seeing that.
Not seeing what?
The little logo in the corner.
Well,
That's
I was about to say
I'm
that.
not hosting.
No,
Well-
Joe doesn't have our logo in the corner right now.
Well,
there
see
you go.
that logo or that logo,
Let's use the ghost.
Yeah. Usually I've got it up there and it's, blocking somebody. So I just quit using it since we've got the clocks in the background.
Oh,
Well, I mean, that don't matter. That's why I like the overlay that I made for
ain't my channel. So.
for Scrub Houses, because it's, first of all, having the logo up in the upper right hand corner to me doesn't make any sense. Lewis, you work in the industry. Where does the logo go for
Bottom right? Bottom
Yeah,
right.
exactly. So on ours, in the bottom right, it actually says Scrub House Video Club Live, and then I got a little kind of cool border and a cool background to go along with it, and then I made in the upper right, the upper right where it says the brought to you by StreamYard thing, because that made sense to me to put it up there. This is where the logo already was.
Can you not pull that logo down on the $10 deal?
No. If you try, like if you try, then it'll actually put it'll put your logo to the right of that logo.
Oh, okay.
Weird.
Made sense.
You know what you need to do, Scott?
Oh. Can y'all keep a secret?
No. Not broadcasting to YouTube and
not broadcasting the
Facebook.
internet. We can't. No.
Yeah, Dan, you have to remember that we're going out.
Well,
live.
damn. I'm just kind of chuffed, and there's something I wanted to share, but I guess I can wait till the after show.
And here's the other
private chat.
Well, I was going to say you can put it in the private chat, Dan, but again, we still can't keep a secret.
Yeah, well.
Do we look like NSA to you?
Is there any?
Oh, they can't keep a secret either.
No, they can't.
No. Snowden can't keep a secret. This one guy.
Guy had a cushy federal job and went and blew it.
He went and blew it. He threw it all away to try to protect our freedom.
To try and tell the truth.
That
Yeah.
right there. That right
What
there.
a schmuck.
What a true American.
No, I
I'm
don't.
surprised. I'm surprised Lewis is making those reactions. I can't tell if they're genuine or if he's being sarcastic.
There's a bit of sarcasm to it. I mean, yes, the truth needed to come out, but what a dork to do it, you know.
With Lewis, I would call it smartcasm.
Well, I was thinking, around the lines of like, Lewis, you're a reporter. Come on, don't you want that juicy scoop?
Yeah, but I don't want a juicy scoop that's going to compromise national security. You know, I walk a fine line. I'm a veteran.
How many people got killed because of his information leak?
That's a good question. Huh?
We may never know.
We couldn't possibly know.
Certainly 5 CIA operatives. So, yes, I believe we have a right to know, but I also believe that there are some things that
We have a duty not to tell.
yeah. I mean, look at case in point, FDR. Reporters knew that he had polio, that he couldn't walk, that the public didn't know, because the reporters knew that if the public and other entities knew that he was physically infirmed, that could undermine confidence in the U.S. So the press kind of agreed to keep that part of it out of the story.
And that'll
Did
never
it
happen
hurt?
again.
Did it hurt us? No.
No.
Everything
Did it
changed
matter?
with Nixon. Everything
Did-
changed with Nixon. Okay? Nixon blew it. Everything went public. Everything exploded in his face because he got sloppy and because the Washington Post was on his case.
Yep.
And
Of
we've
course.
never trusted a politician completely since.
And according to Arlo Guthrie, what else do you know that is 18 minutes and 20 seconds long?
Alice's
That
Restaurant,
dude-
perhaps?
That's yeah, because he said that was there were only there were the it was specifically Nixon's presidential library.
Yeah.
And that he had all of these books and all of these
Record
films,
albums.
and record albums. And the thing about the record albums is that there was only one record album in the entire thing that had ever been opened, and it was a copy of Alice's Restaurant. There's 18 minutes of tape that are blank on
18 minutes and 20 seconds.
of tape blank that have been censored on the Watergate tapes. How many things do you know are 18 minutes long?
I don't know. What year did Debbie Does Dallas come out?
No, just because you only got through 18 minutes doesn't mean that was the length of the film.
Look at something here. I gotta look at something.
He said right after we talk about Debbie Does Dallas.
Anybody who ever says they've seen the end of a porn movie, I don't trust that person.
I do want to point out.
I've
something.
seen the end of several.
I
It's the beginnings
Right.
that I miss.
I do want to point out something real quick of what he just said, because we were talking about porno and he's like, I got to take a look at something.
If there's a wiener on that monitor, I swear to God, Stu.
What? No. I brought it up on IMDb. I brought it. Oh, long show. Hang on a second. Let's see what I did.
No, he brought up Dallas.
Debbie Does Dallas. Yes.
That was what, 1974?
It's still
maybe?
in production.
It's
what it
still
said.
in
That's what it told me.
production.
You mean
They
still in
haven't finished the
distribution?
editing yet.
Debbie's still doing Dallas.
Damn, and she's like 75 years old now, man.
Debbie Does Dallas.
Well, it
Debbie-
takes a little while.
Hang on a second.
She'll never. be
Debbie Does
big.
Dallas, the musical. Debbie Does Dallas again. Debbie Does
Oh.
Nation. Debbie Does Demons.
Full screen.
Joe is
Oh,
trying-
open eyes on the puppies.
Joe is
Yes.
trying to distract
Sorry,
you
John.
from your-
Sorry, John. You're being preempted. Hold that thought. Oh my God, I love those blue eyes. But all puppies have blue eyes when they're born. I know.
Little
Yeah,
demon
she-
dog.
Yeah, that's the only one has her eyes open.
Mm.
So
I didn't say Alexa.
Don't get snippy with the help now. Okay, John, continue.
They don't have a listing for just Debbie Does Dallas.
Maybe because it was a total X?
well,
No.
Does IMDb
It
not list
would've been-
X-rated
There it is.
movie?
I'm looking right at it. It's Debbie Does Dallas, 1978. A cheerleader and her friends need money to make quickly, so they begin selling sexual services.
Found it.
And at the
Oh, wait, that's
worst,
the-
it
that's
was
the
a
musical.
PG.
No, this isn't the musical.
No,
I'm
I'm
looking
saying
at
I'm talking about what I'm doing over here.
By the way, Debbie Does Dallas.
You
if
may
wanna know the
be
runtime-
doing a musical, but
Hold on. If you want to know the runtime, Debbie Does
Yeah.
Dallas is an hour and 20 minutes.
I never made it past 20 minutes.
oh, come on. This is like
I must be
Misty
misspelling Debbie.
Beethoven. Everything was faked. You didn't actually get to see anything real. It was simulated. Oh,
Like
God,
those
it was the
Skinamax
70s.
movies.
Yeah.
Like Skinamax movies.
Hey, Robin Williams said it best. He says, "Everyone loves watching porn, but why does it have to be such bad acting?" He says, "Why couldn't Shakespeare have written porn?" Which technically he did for the day.
Yeah, I was about to say, what makes you think he didn't?
And I can't believe, Willow, you're going to understand this. I can't believe Brian and Christian are missing this episode of Stupid O'Clock.
Well, we're touching on popular
Entertainment.
Yeah.
Well, I was trying to find a synonym for civilization, but I can't find one because it doesn't really go in with it. Culture, that's the one.
Cultural
Popular-
reference.
Popular cultural.
Popular
Yes.
culture.
Yeah, I'm a little.
And
I don't-
that doesn't mean yogurt in this case.
I am a little upset with the stupidity of some people here lately.
I resemble that remark.
What the fuck did
And,
I do
and you
now?
went and named your show Stupid O'Clock.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. No, it was part of one of my posts earlier today.
Oh,
Talking
Lord.
about
Here we
what?
go.
There we go. I'm wound up. People that are asked to leave a place of business, and then they demand, "This is my right to be here. This is a public space."
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Private property.
Real quick, before you
Yeah.
get going, Joe,
Yes.
can you holler for your lovely wife and tell her to bring the brandy?
Yeah, if you're going to rant, let's make it good.
Hey, there
All
it is.
Oh, it's on the floor. Oh, come
Now
on
we're
now. There's,
going. Now we're cooking.
there's
with
only
gas.
about
No
two
wonder that
shots
puppy's
in
got
there.
her eyes open. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Well, Joe, you usually mix it with coffee first.
Do what?
You usually mix it with coffee first.
I'm out of coffee, and I ain't going to make no damn more.
All right.
Oh.
Now
Well,
that
it's
he's
now
all
thoroughly
lubricated-
mixed with his bloodstream, so
Now that
there
he's
you go.
well lubricated, let's get
No.
this party started.
Damn, John, you still working on that pumpkin pie?
Just started.
No.
You get to room
It-
temperature?
These people don't realize the consequences of arguing with these. If you want to argue with a little pissant employee thinking customer is always right, when they tell you to leave, guess what? You've got two choices: leave or go to jail.
Yeah, you're leaving one way or the other. It's whether you do it on your own volition
Whether-
or in handcuffs.
Yeah, whether you leave on your own 2 feet or you leave in handcuffs.
Yeah,
Well,
and-
unfortunately, local law enforcement is not enforcing it. So
trespass?
that's unfortunately an empty threat.
A trespass.
Well,
Because of the mask.
But they'll make you leave.
Well, here's the thing. Right? Here's the thing. Because Lewis, you were absolutely 100% correct. The about the mask thing. But there is if you ask somebody to leave, right? Say, hey, you can put on your mask or you can leave. Well, this is a free country. I don't have to. Well, now you're getting belligerent, and as soon as you get belligerent, we no longer have to serve you. Now, if you're very calm about it, then the store looks like a jackass. But no, you get belligerent, then they could immediately, look. I've been thrown out of. This is a true story. I got thrown out of a gas station. I was asked to leave a gas station by a police officer. You know, my crime, why I was trespassing, quote unquote, why they wanted me to leave? I had a migraine. I walked in, I bought a Red Bull and some Advil, and that was it. And then I left. I didn't say a word to anybody. I walked in, I handed over the stuff that I wanted to buy, put my card in the machine. I went out to my van. I took my pills and I sat there and waited for my migraine to go away. During that time period, she called the cops because I was rude. And the cops asked me to leave because she felt like me not saying anything was being belligerent. That's all it takes. So as soon as somebody starts mouthing off, oh, this is a free country, I don't have to go anywhere. Trump train 2020, all the other crap, then,
all things being equal, I would agree with you, but there are a lot of retail, and you've worked in retail before. There are a lot of retailers who are loath to have somebody arrested especially for something like that, because the press would be horrendous. And especially nowadays with Yelp and with social media, it would be hard for a company to paint that in anything but we're bullying our customers.
Yeah.
So
most companies wouldn't do it. Most companies wouldn't do it. They wouldn't even.
No.
They wouldn't.
I guarantee you, Food City won't.
Food City.
I go to Food City. They got big signs on the front door. Must wear a mask when entering this building.
Yeah.
Well, they might be wearing one when they enter the building, but once they're in, they take them off, or they do the dick hanging over the tidy whities look.
I don't. I go to these stores all the time, Walmarts and Food Cities, because I have to, for my job, I have to go to Walmarts and Food Cities all the time. Nobody wears a mask, or not nobody. Let me rephrase. Nobody says anything about nobody wearing a mask. The people not wearing a mask, nobody says a word to them. They just walk right in. Used to be they would say something to them. They got sick and tired of hearing the same old excuses. Oh, I have asthma. I remember the hippie girl, the white trash Rossville hippie girl with the tie-dyed pot leaf t-shirt, smoking a cigarette as she approached the door. She flicks her cigarette. The woman says, "You have to put on a mask before you enter." She goes, "I have asthma," and just keeps on walking. And I was sitting there just laughing because I'm like, you smoke cigarettes and weed. You don't have asthma. You'd be dead if you had asthma.
Emphysema maybe, but not asthma.
So, no. But I will point out that there is a store, and it is a store in this very area, that will throw you out for not wearing a mask.
Who is it?
Straight up remove you.
Where?
Costco.
Oh.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah. Because I've seen it. They will confiscate your cart and ask you to leave if you don't put your mask on.
And if you argue with them, they cancel your membership.
Yep, they've threatened people about that. They will cancel your membership entirely. And when people figure out that they're about to have their membership canceled with no refund, that $60 they pay per year to have the privilege of shopping there and getting their great gas prices and tire discounts and all that other stuff, as soon as they figure out they've just screwed up, they either leave calmly or they put their mask on.
Yep.
One or the other. Because there was that one there. I remember seeing that one video of the guy who was making a big stink about it. The guy took his card. Oh, they're taking my card. They're taking my card. It's like, next is going to be your membership card. And he put his mask on. Like, right there.
I'm sorry. This winter, watch people when it's colder than shit outside and you can see your breath. Watch the people wearing masks. See how far their breath goes when they exhale.
Mm-hmm.
The damn mask ain't to protect you, it's to protect all the other assholes around
Yeah.
you.
Exactly.
When you go to the before all this shit ever started, when you went to the doctor with a cough or a cold, the first thing they did was hand you a mask and say, put this on.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So you don't spread it around amongst it.
Oh, masks don't work. Masks don't work. Dude, why do you think doctors wear them? Think about that. for a minute.
Doctors and nurses, yeah.
Doctors and nurses wear them. Well, those are medical grade masks. It's a mask. There really is no difference between any of them. There really is.
Watch the TV show MASH. Those weren't medical grade. They were freaking cotton.
Mm-hmm.
And trust me, a lot of that military equipment in MASH was military equipment.
It was surplus.
You know what makes those specialty masks? You know what makes them so special? The medical grade masks. You know what makes them so special? The materials.
The box they come in.
No, it's the materials that they use, because they don't use just regular cotton. They use specialty hypoallergenic shit, right? But B, it's the amount of layers. That's all. It's just additional filtering. That's it. If you're really that concerned about it, throw 3 of the damn things on. You will then have a medical grade mask. You get 3 of the cheap ones from the gas station that cost $1 each. Throw 3 of them on. There you go. You got it. But and people, I hate this all the time. People say you can't breathe in the masks. Are you? I wanted to say something and I knew I couldn't say it because I'm on Josh. We're on Stupid O'Clock. We're not on Josh.
Is your mask latex?
How do I?
Unless it's latex, you should be able to breathe through it.
Are you? I'm quoting Charlie, a YouTuber who goes by Critical, and the quote is, "With censoring, are you blanking my blank right now?" That's I'll put it that way. Here, actually, I'll type it into private chat so everybody can see it, except for the people at home.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, come on, people. A little common sense. The mask isn't to protect
Oh my God.
you.
Wow.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, that's something that he said in a video. It was really funny because it was the Supermoto safety video.
Wait a minute. Are you donkeying my rooster right now? Hmm?
There you go. Are you donkey holding my rooster head right now? That's a good way of saying it. I like that. Yeah, good job. No, he said that in response to when he was playing the Supermoto game and he crashed his motorcycle, and the character model worked when he crashed, and his head popped off, and it was listed as a. It said the injury was I think it was an arm amputation or something. He said that, and he was all like, "You're gonna tell me my head just popped off like a freaking Lego, and that's not an encephalon injury, an actual injury to the head." I mean, I'm not a doctor. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to question your diagnosis. I think you might have gotten this one wrong. But anyway. Oh God, what was I talking about before that? I was talking about masks.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry. I derailed this into a political side, and I don't like doing that.
Nothing political about health.
Nothing
I'd like to make it that way.
Yeah, science and health there too.
That I said. The only thing political I said, which I don't think anybody watching this is going to disagree, right? A lot of the people who aren't wearing their masks tend to be conservative. Not saying all of them are conservative. I've seen plenty of liberals doing it too.
Well, I see that our current president is holding another super spreader event in Valdosta, Georgia tonight.
Oh, he's got.
I'm glad they're far south of us.
26 of them total before the end of the year. He's holding 26 events, and Christopher Titus's podcast was talking about this. It's great. the list of things that they're doing to prevent the spread of coronavirus at these events is amazing. Right? Masks will be provided
Dan.
upon request.
We can hear you. Whatever you're rattling under the camera.
I don't think he gives a crap.
Of course he doesn't. I thought he was falling asleep.
Look on his
Oh, was
face.
that you?
It was Blake.
It wasn't me. It was Dan.
Oh, okay.
I just
It's
picked this up.
It's amazing. The look on his
Is that your
face.
Scooby snacks, John?
Gave all of us.
Is that your Scooby snacks?
Scooby snack.
And I think Dan's rolling doobie snacks right now.
Oh,
Sounds
okay.
like-
Wasabi? Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the fact Dan hasn't said anything yet. He just holds up a cracker. And
It's
goes,
like,
Bugger off.
No, but
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That got me riled up. I watched a video today, and the police
That was
officer
your
showed
first
up,
mistake.
and the first thing the guy did was he refused to give him his ID.
you can do that. You don't have to show ID unless you're getting pulled over.
Well, when he walks up and he goes, "Okay, I'm going to have to cite you for trespassing. May I see your ID?" I don't have an ID. And he turns and looked at his wife. He says, "Do you have an ID?" She says, "Yes." "Okay, I'm going to use your ID, and you're going to need an ID. I don't have to show you my ID." He goes, let me explain this to you. You are leaving.
Yeah.
What I am choosing not to arrest you for not properly identifying yourself after committing a crime. He goes, "What crime did I commit?" "Trespassing." He goes, "How was I trespassing?" "This gentleman asked you to leave. You refused to leave. You're trespassing. It's that simple." And what these assholes don't understand is once that paperwork starts, they don't stop.
Oh, no.
You can get cited to court for this. Guess what? You better show up with a damn lawyer. And in the state of Tennessee, it can be up to 1129.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I mean, all you got to do is piss the judge off, and okay, your one simple request, the one simple request of you is put a mask on or leave, just cost you your job, lawyer fees.
Oh, do you think any of
Dumbass.
them are actually going to get a lawyer? Guys like that, Joe, guys like that, and they generally turn out to be those sovereign citizen douchebags. You know which ones I'm talking about. The guy that gets pulled over and then he cracks his window. And the officer's like, "You roll your window down a little bit more so I can hear you?" He's like, "I don't have to do that. Can I see your ID?" "I don't have to show you ID." "Yes, you do. You're operating a motor vehicle. You have to have identification on you in order to operate a motor vehicle. You have to have a driver's license." And they always give some smart ass comment where they're like, "I'm a traveler." No, you're operating a motor vehicle. No, according to the law, I am a traveler. I don't have to show you my ID. Like, you're behind the wheel, so then you're operating a motor vehicle. You have to have ID. But I'm a traveler. Like, I hate that sovereign citizen crap. You know what? Let me tell you something. And I'm not saying this to brag. I'm not. My MVR is 100% squeaky clean. 100%. Right? I've been pulled over roughly, I would say, if I had to ballpark it, about 30 times. I'm a bit of a speed demon. I'm not going to lie. I love driving fast. Hell, that's why I've only owned 2 vehicles that were 4-cylinders. I loved both of them. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing like getting behind the wheel of a large, powerful V8 and just putting the pedal down and letting the tires squeal, flying down the interstate 90 to 100 miles an hour. Oh, that's the greatest feeling in the world. I love it. I love it. I tell you what, if I had me a good old-fashioned American muscle car, I'd probably be dead because I'd kill myself somehow. I'm sure of it.
Now,
I'm
I
a
have-
better driver than I make myself out to sound right now. I just love that 0 to 60. Just put the G's, throw you back in the seat, sort of driving. So I've been pulled
May,
over a lot.
may I interject?
What?
I
Yeah,
have been pulled over leaving LibertyCon and had not even got up to the local speed limit yet before the blue lights went off. Cop claimed I'm doing 95 miles an hour. I hadn't even got up to 60. And the speed limit was 75. What happened was he saw my GPS, my backup camera on the dash, and thought I had a cell phone out. And it was the weekend that no touch cell phone laws went into place.
yeah.
There's a
And he gave me a song and dance and let me go with a warning for not being up to the speed limit yet. And don't do that again. And followed me for 5 miles until I actually got up to 75 miles an hour and was leaving the county.
My one speeding ticket came from a Tennessee state trooper who wrote me. He says I'm going to be nice. When he pulled me, I know I was exceeding the speed limit, and the speedometer only went to 85 on that Toyota Corolla. But he gave me the long story, song and dance of, do you know, this is back when speed limit was 55. He says, do you know anything over 55 or anything 15 miles over the speed limit is considered reckless driving? I said, yes, sir. He says, do you know anything over 100 I can take you to jail? I said, yes, sir. He goes, why did you pull over after you passed me? I said, well, I knew I was exceeding the speed limit. You were going to pull out and write me up. So I just decided to make both our days a little easier. He goes, okay, I'll be right back. I guess he went to run license and registration and everything.
Yeah.
He came back and he says, well, Joseph, I'm going to tell you. I'm in a good mood tonight, and you were only doing 83. The speedometer was buried. It was the only reason it couldn't go any faster was the trip reset was on the needle. The needle was on the trip reset. He also happened to be an uncle's brother, a married into the family uncle's brother. Long story short, my dad was waiting on me when we got home.
No, I bet.
no, what I told all of that. All that's talking about me to say this. I've been pulled over a lot. I have been pulled over a lot. Like again, I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying is that I have a completely squeaky clean MVR, and the reason for that is twofold. One, if I have to get a lawyer, I will. If it's that bad of an issue, I will get a lawyer. But most of the time, I just go in there and I don't fight it. I just go in there and talk to the judge, and I let the judge know, hey, I'm sorry.
Tell it to the judge.
I'm not. I apologize. I made a mistake, and I'm really nice about it. And I come in just dressed to the nines. I look like a respectable citizen when I go in there, and I don't look like a complete dirtball. Like all these other people you see who go to court who just look like scum. I go in there and I'm dressed to the nines. The judges always look at it and they're just always like, and I always tell them, I'm like, what can I do to not make this? What can I do to prevent this from going on my record? And most of the time, the judge is really nice. Like, I tell you what, you pay court costs, don't do it again. Cool. Sometimes it's been, you got to go to traffic school. Cool. I'll go to traffic school. I've been to traffic school in a while. I'll do that, That's rare that I actually have to do that because most of the time, cops will let me go just because I'm honest.
Yep.
You know I pulled you over? No. Well, I pulled you over because you were doing 75 miles an hour. Okay. And the speed limit through here is 65. I apologize. Cool. So you do admit you're speeding. I was probably speeding. I don't know why you pulled me over, but yeah, I was probably speeding. I'm sorry. They got license registration? Absolutely. Here's my license, here's my registration, here's my proof of
Yeah.
insurance.
As long as everything else is squared away, yeah.
And you know what? You want to know what? We live in a day and age right now. This is amazing. We live in a day and age right now where if you're polite to a cop, I want to be very clear about this. I probably only get away with this because I'm white. I don't think it's gonna work as well if you're black. But
You'd be surprised.
if
Last time I drove a patrol car was just before the year of 2000. Okay. And even then, cops were so sick and tired of people arguing with them and lying and saying they didn't do shit that when I pulled somebody over and they flat out admitted it and said, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, my bad. I'm like, okay.
Don't do it again.
Verbal warning. Go on your way. But if they argued with me, fuck them.
First time I ever
Wrote them up every time.
First time I ever got pulled over, I got pulled over for I was doing 81 miles an hour. It was doing 81 miles an hour and a 45. And I saw him. I was like, I know it. I know I'm busted. Right? And I'm like, he's never going to believe me when I tell him why I was speeding, but fuck it. I'm going to tell him the truth. So he comes up, and he's a really nice guy. He's like, it's a license, proof of insurance. Here you go. He's like, you know why I pulled you over, Mr. Guthrie? And I was like, well, I'm pretty sure I have a pretty good idea. And he's like, yeah, you're doing about 81 miles an hour back there. It's what he clocked me at. I had no idea how fast I was actually going. That's what he said. What, 81? Oh, damn. Holy shit. He's like, what are you in a hurry for? I said, you're never going to believe me. Not in a million years will you ever believe me. And he goes, try me. I said, well, it's 4:55. And cops is on in 5 minutes. And I'm trying to get to the gas station and back so I can watch the latest episode because it's going to be Chattanooga. And he sat there for a minute. He thought, because I'm about to turn on East Brainerd Road when he pulls me over. I was still living it was a Caduceus County officer or Caduceus County deputy. I was living in Ringgold at the time, like I am now, but I was living in the booties of Ringgold. So I was out there in like the Salem area. He sat there for a minute. He goes, I'll be right back. And so, he goes and runs the thing, and I'm sitting there watching the time, and it's like 4:56. And I'm like, I can probably still make it if he lets me go. And he comes back and he goes, all right, look, I'm going to cut you a break. I'm still giving you a ticket to teach you a lesson because it looks like you've never been pulled over before. I said, no, sir, I never have. I just got my license a few months ago. And he goes, I'm still going to give you a ticket, but I'm only going to write it for 10 over since you have respect for law enforcement. But please respect the law as well. And he gave me the ticket for 55 and a 45. And I went to court and I said, I pulled over. I totally did it. I admit to it. The officer was very nice. I just, and the judge was like, yeah, first time offense, you pay court costs. It won't go on your record. I said, thank you. Well, yep.
And in response to what Chris just wrote, sometimes the offense necessitates a ticket. It depends on what the officer said to dispatch when he pulled you over. There are some times where, and I'll tell you, before you ever get pulled over, before those lights ever go on, that police officer has put your license number and a description of your vehicle into dispatch, and they're checking NCIC to see if there are any warrants on that, to see if the tag matches the description of the vehicle, so that if you're pulling over a stolen vehicle, because that's a very dangerous stop. Yeah. He also knows exactly where you're being pulled. He tells the dispatch exactly where you're being pulled over, and if he can, a description of you, so that in case he doesn't come back on the radio, they know who to look for. Yeah. Okay. So dispatch already knows a lot about you and what you probably did before he ever turned on the lights. Yeah. So there are some times where, depending on what he told dispatch, if he comes back without a ticket written on that, they're going to say, the watch commander is going to say, and dispatch told me you had somebody doing 35 above the speed limit. Where's the ticket for that?
Yeah.
So a lot of times it's out of the cops' hands.
And I
Now-
also want to point this out. Lewis, I'm absolutely certain that you are a wonderful law enforcement officer.
I tried to be.
There's and I know a lot of my more liberal, especially hardcore left leaning, communist anarchist friends are gonna hate me for saying this. There are good cops.
Mm-hmm.
Of course there
Of
are.
course there are.
Cops.
Yeah.
I know a lot of good
Yeah.
cops. There are also a lot of bad ones, and being a bad cop doesn't necessarily mean to me personally, mean being the more violent, sociopathic ones that you see getting reported in the media a lot these days. I think sometimes being a bad cop just means you're an asshole. Come on, man, you don't have to be a dick.
Yeah. It's
Well, and
it's kinda
sometimes
hard.
It just means they had a bad day.
Now,
yeah.
Lewis, did you ever watch Live PD?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay, one of the things that I caught on to that, I mean, it was across all jurisdictions. When they approached a car on a stop, they would reach up and touch the backside of put their hand on the back of the car.
Mm-hmm.
And then they were, finally they started answering questions. And one of the big questions that kept repeating is, why do they always touch the back of the car? Do you want to say, or do you want to give we'll hear what answer they gave?
I'd be curious to hear what answer, because I never did that.
Yeah. What they said is it identifies the car. If they stop the car, if something happens and they stop the car later, that officer's fingerprints are on the vehicle.
Neat.
I was never told that. So that is interesting.
Yeah.
No,
Maybe
there are a couple of things that I would do for every single stop, and that is, number one, I would never stop directly behind the suspect vehicle, and I would always stop at an angle, because as soon as they started putting airbags in cars, bad guys learned that as soon as both cars were stopped, if they hit reverse and
hit
rammed
your car.
in front of your car, it would deploy your airbag. It would distract you long enough for them to get away.
Yeah.
So we learned, if you park at an angle, that airbag won't go off even if they run into you. And secondly, you never stand in front of their door. Always stand behind that opening in case they try to open it real quick and hit you. So,
one of the things that, like, Dan a minute ago said, like, oh, I was having a bad day. I don't.
Well, yeah, everybody has a bad day.
I think people do have bad days. I've known a lot of law enforcement officers personally, and I can tell you personally known, right? I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt, for sure, the ones that I knew, right? If they were a jerk, they were always a jerk. If they were nice, they were always nice. There was one gentleman who I worked with, or dealt with rather. He on the weekends moonlighted, and didn't moonlight. I mean, it was part of his job, but he did the security for Sir Goonies.
yeah, that was a detail.
Yeah,
And he was probably being paid $10 an hour for it.
and I would go down there to Sir Goonies all the time, so he knew who I was. One night he pulls me over coming home from work because I almost ran a red light. I was very tired, and I was like, oh, shit, the light's red, sort of thing. Yeah. He pulled me over, and he's like, hey, you almost missed the light there. And I was like, yeah, I'm not looking at him in the eye because I'm embarrassed, I'm getting pulled over. On top of getting pulled over. I got pulled over at the Krispy Kreme on Brainerd Road by a cop. That's really embarrassing because I wanted to make every donut joke in the world, and I couldn't do it, I didn't want to insult this guy. And so, I said, I'm tired. I just got off work, and all this other stuff. And now, sorry. And he's like, oh, I know. And I look up at him, and he's like, I finally went, oh, shit. And he's like, yeah, skunk, I know who you are. That's why he said that's why I'm, I mean, I have to give you a ticket because, of what happened, but, I'm not gonna be a jerk about it.
Hmm.
He was always a really nice guy. Every time you met him, he's a really nice guy. On the flip side, I know a guy. Oh God, I cannot remember his name. Almir. I want to say his name was Almir. Right? This dude we used to play paintball with, and he was CPD, and he was an absolute ass. Everything about he was the douchiest guy I knew. Right? So it wasn't surprising to me at all that he got a dishonorable discharge from CPD. He got fired for too many complaints because people would get pulled over by him and they'd be like, yeah, he was a total jerk. And I was like, no shit. I used to play paintball with the guy. You knew he was a total jerk.
Were you at Bradley County, Lewis, or Hamilton County?
Bradley.
Well, I do have a tendency to give people the benefit of the doubt,
And well, that's a good thing. Everybody should do that, Dan. I'm just saying that there are people, there are guys out there who are just, they get that authority. Respect my authority. There's those guys out there.
There was one time that I abused my authority as a policeman, as a sheriff's deputy. One time. There was
red. Light was red.
No. If I ever blew through a red light, I was code 2. That was for sure. No, there was one night where I was on patrol, and 64 highway leading from the bypass out toward Polk County. Channel 9's satellite truck was doing about 15 miles above the speed limit. I'm like, okay. I knew who was driving. It was John Creel, their chief photographer, because that's what he did. He drove their satellite truck. So I get up behind Channel 9. I'm working for Channel 12 at the time, okay? I was a reserve deputy, okay? So I get behind the satellite truck, boop, pop the bubble gums on. He dutifully pulls over, and back at this time, we were wearing a gray uniform and the round brown, okay? The campaign hat, the Stetson campaign hat.
Yeah.
And I walk up, and I've got my head down like this. I walk up to the door, and without looking up, I said, "You know why I stopped you?" He says, "Yes, sir. I believe I was probably going a little faster than I should have." I said, "John, just slow it down. Where the hell are you going?" His face drained of all blood. It was a minute before he thought, okay, I guess I can laugh now. But and then he told me about that he was on his way to Polk County. There was breaking news. And so I said, all right, well, get to it then. And then I immediately went back to my patrol car, got my cell phone, and called my station and said, are you guys aware of breaking news in Polk County? So that was the one time I abused my authority. But
Did you get the details of what happened to inform the station?
hell yeah.
All right.
Nah, it was a missing kid. And Polk County had just launched a search in the Chilhowie area for this missing kid. So
missing kids. That when I see all those, it just scares me to death.
yeah.
And while I was working for Public Works, driving that truck, I'm going to tell you right now, my biggest fear driving was some kid running out in front of me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I can tell you right now, being somebody that drives for a living, what my biggest fear is. And I have
bigger trucks
every single day. No, I don't care about the truck drivers at all. Truck drive. I literally, this actually happened recently. The first time since I've been driving for over 5 years now. You count all the coin mock and all the time that I've been working here in the new place, right? So I've been driving for about 5 years, right? And I've only had one semi pull out in front of me. That was it. One semi almost ran me off the road, and I you know what happened? I got it. He was in a hurry. He had to pull over for some reason. He was in a hurry. He realized I'm running late or whatever when he finally got his truck going again. And he took off and didn't even look. That's all it was. And I was miffed about it. I was like, you. But I got over it. No, my thing is that one day I'm gonna be sitting at a red light, or I'm gonna be pulling up to a red light, and I'm gonna stop, and the person behind me isn't, and it's gonna ruin my whole fucking day. Because I'm gonna have to sit there and I'm about to call the cops, and they're gonna have to come out, and they're gonna have to investigate. It's just I have to go to let's say some more rural areas, right? So not only that, I'm gonna have to wait forever for a police officer to even show up, and on top of that, I might have to deal with the redneck person. Oh man, please don't call the cops. Oh, it's only a minor fender bender. Your van ain't even destroyed. I mean, yeah, my front end's clipped in, but you don't call the cops, man. I don't have insurance.
No, I got some meth in my back seat.
Sorry, dude. I've got a camera that just recorded me going, "What the fuck?" So, yeah.
And that is one reason why I spent 6 months out of work and have a broken collarbone.
Skunk, I'm going to give you two. I know I'm giving you driving advice. You drive and all that. I'm going to give you two driving tips right now.
Joseph.
Yep.
Absolutely. I've been driving for a living for a very long time, but I do appreciate any advice that you could possibly give me.
And it's
it's not just advice from me. It's advice for everybody here and everybody at home.
Yeah. Rule 1. An out-of-town tag, meaning from another side of the state or whatever, or an out-of-state tag. If that car is in front of you, immediately assume that idiot is lost and will stop dead ass in front of you at any given time.
That's really happened to me more than once
really
on the interstate.
Joe, that is really good advice because it's happened. I've had multiple times where I've been like, "What the hell are you doing? Oh, you're from Kentucky. Well, go back to Kentucky."
Tip number 2.
Get off the 285.
Tip number 2. Rental truck. U-Haul, Hertz, Penske, Ryder, any of those little small rental trucks. Immediately assume the last time that person drove a truck of that size is never.
Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
That one I know.
Yep.
And you want to know why I know that one, Joe? Actually, in fact, I avoid those vehicles altogether in general. This is not just whether or not the driver. I assume always it's the driver. That's the first time I've ever drove one of those trucks. So you could tell most of the time too. On top of that, unless it's a Penske. If it's a Penske truck that has logos on it for another company, that it's a long-term rental, I'll assume that's...
Yeah, if it's a lease, but if it's a local, do-it-yourself moving.
Yeah.
Now, true story, by the way, about this. This is the other reason why I avoid those vehicles. If at all possible, I don't get behind them or anything like that. I don't believe that they're very well maintained.
Actually, yes, they are.
Yeah, they are. But
I have a story about that.
Okay.
We were coming back from Arizona. We went out there to go see my great-grandmother. Go out to Arizona, visit my great-grandmother. We're on the way back. Now, there's, let's see, 4 and a 5th. So there's 5 people in the Dodge pickup truck. Dodge pickup truck I'm currently driving now, by the way. Except the difference is that, as my parents at the time, I was a kid, my sister was a teenager, and my aunt was with us. My now ex-aunt, they've gotten a divorce since then. She's up in the front with the parents. Me and my sister are in the truck bed with the cap over the back when we used to have a cap on that truck. We fitted it with a mattress, an inverter, a TV, and a Nintendo 64. So me and my sister were like rocking, man. Between watching horror movies, we were playing Doom. We were having a grand old time back there. That is until all of a sudden, out of nowhere, we hit something. We hit something bad because the vehicle was coming to a sudden stop. Right? What the hell just happened? Me and my sister are freaking out. And my mom and my dad are both like, look, we're leaving you with your Aunt Jamie. We got to go. The truck is dead. And we're like, oh, God, what happened? They go walking off. We hang out with Jamie for a few hours. Finally, a tow truck comes back with my parents in it, picks up the truck, takes it to a dealership, drops it off, and then we all get a ride in the tow truck over to the hotel that we had to get a hotel room for. To stay in this hotel overnight, which is awesome. Because me and my sister went on this trip. I was like, hey, now we got a swimming pool we can go swim in. Right? Yay. Then the next morning we went over. It's about lunchtime, after 10:30. Went to Whataburger. First time I ever got to go to a Whataburger. It was kick-ass. And then we found out that, we're going to be in Texas for a little bit longer because we're waiting for our truck to be repaired. And why are we waiting for our truck to be repaired? Well, that would be because that inside of the engine bay area, the reason why the engine was no longer running, we found a U-Haul fender. We know it's a U-Haul fender because it had U-Haul written on it. So what had happened was, I found this out later. There was in front of my parents, there was somebody pulling a U-Haul trailer, and the fender just came off. It came completely off. And when it came off, it took the wires for the brake lights and everything with it. And of course, that just went straight underneath our vehicle and right up into the engine and destroyed everything. So we had to wait. Yep. We were in Texas for 2 days while the Dodge dealership in that part of Texas did an emergency, fast, as quick as possible repair this vehicle for us, which was very kind of them. And so U-Haul refused to pay for it, and that had to come out of my dad's pocket. And why did U-Haul refuse to pay for it? Because the trailer was being used by a customer, and it was the customer's responsibility, and the customer was saying it's U-Haul's responsibility. Yeah, I don't like U-Haul.
Let's do both of them in a dual responsibility.
So I feel that because of that whole entire situation, that if I'm ever behind a vehicle like that, like a U-Haul trailer or anything that just looks kind of sketchy and well used and possibly beat upon by hundreds upon thousands of people, I'm just going to assume it's not very well maintained.
Oh, so you're not poking fun at a yellow truck with a red door on the back, are you?
Okay, take it easy, Blake. Hope you feel better.
Joseph, let me tell you something. That vehicle, I would trust that if I ever saw that vehicle, with the red door that you want to paint black, on the back of it. If I ever saw that, two things would go through my mind. One, I know for a fact that's a very well maintained vehicle because I know who owns it. And two, I'm going to get in front of that thing and I'm going to find out how well maintained it is when I brake check it.
Don't.
I'll tell you one of the biggest worries about a larger U-Haul or do-it-yourself moving rental truck stopping distance. A lot of people fill those things up and underestimate every time how long it's going to take to stop that vehicle. So I tend, if I see a U-Haul behind me and there's a stoplight or a stop sign coming up, dude, I'm like, go ahead, you get past me. I am not going to be rear-ended by a 30,000-pound truck driven by somebody who normally drives a sedan.
Yeah.
Okay. And also, I don't get to the right of them. If we're in a traffic situation, I don't get to the right of them because there are big ass blind spots on those things that people don't know how to use outside mirrors because they've been driving sedans and trucks and pickups and SUVs all their life, and they just use that little mirror on the windshield, and they don't know how to use the side mirrors. So I just give them plenty of room.
The only advantage I've got to driving my big yellow truck is 24 years of driving a single axle dump truck. Of course, people don't know that, but I've also got it set up. I've actually got a rear view mirror on that truck. Yeah, it works. Of course, it's a camera, but it's a rear view mirror.
Oh,
God bless backup cameras that don't turn off when you're not in reverse.
I made that. I made sure it didn't cut off.
This. Oh, go ahead.
It's supposed to cut off. You're supposed to wire it into the backup lights. I ran it a hot wire directly to the fuse, so I've got it on at all times.
Yes, that should be standard with all vehicles. Whether they have a rear windshield and a center mirror and side mirrors or not, I'll tell you, my life has been saved about a dozen times because I hotwired my backup camera to where it is on when I want it to be on, which is anytime I take a long trip, and it eliminates the blind spot from the side mirror and the center rear view mirror. By the time a car disappears from the backup camera, you can see it out your window.
Yeah.
To the side. I mean, there is no gap. It's like those cameras are such wide angle. By the time the car next to you gets up to where you can see it, you can still see the rear bumper in the backup camera.
Word of warning, I just got kicked from StreamYard for some reason.
Being quiet, probably.
That wasn't me. No, it showed all of y'all going offline too, but I guess you didn't.
I don't know. Maybe
that may have been an internet hiccup on your side.
Yeah, I want to show you guys something really cool. Okay. Maybe net split. I haven't heard that word in a long time. I'm gonna show you something. Maybe I'm gonna be the only person that thinks this is cool. Maybe I'll be the only person in this call that thinks it's cool. Chris Walker might also think it's cool, but I do want to show it off because I think it's cool. They're remaking Castle Freak.
Okay. Is that now? Are you sure it's cool?
Yeah.
It's air conditioned.
Castle Freak's pretty awesome, and I can only imagine what a big budget version of Castle Freak looks like.
I don't know.
All right. Who was in charge of the original and who's in charge now?
Castle Freak was a Stuart Gordon movie from like the mid '90s. It starred Jeffrey Combs. And
that's got it going for it.
Yeah, he is Jeffrey Combs is a.
We know who he is. Yes,
he plays a recovering alcoholic who inherits an Italian castle. It's got music by Richard Band. It's got Barbara Crampton's in it, Jessica Dollarhide's in it, Jonathan Fuller's in it. I mean, it's a pretty awesome movie.
In the new one,
the new one is Tate Steinsky.
Yeah, I'm heading that way.
Steinstein? I don't know how to pronounce that.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of him before?
Steinsick.
No, Tate Steinsick. I don't know.
Tate Steinsick. Hang on a minute. Let's look him up.
He's a special effects guy.
Ooh.
Yeah, he did special effects on a bunch of stuff.
Sharknado. That's good. It ain't looking too good. Anaconda. Yeah, that's really not looking good now.
But like,
I think the original is not going to be usurped here. Just as a wild guess.
He does. Yeah, he's done like special effects on bad movies, but also did special effects on good movies.
He did Zombie Honeymoon, so that's got it going for him.
He did the special effects on Puppet Master Littlest Reich, which I'm gonna say it wasn't the most amazing special effects, but they were pretty damn good. It was pretty. He was specifically the creature and puppet designer, which if he was the designer on those puppets were awesome. And if you know Castle Freak, right, you need a good designer of the freak itself. So, So yeah.
So he's the director or the producer?
He's the director. He's directing the film.
Okay, now that shows promise.
And Charles Band is producing. Oh, Charles Band and Barbara Crampton are producing it. So Barbara Crampton's putting her stamp on this. That's pretty good. I don't know who any of these people are that are in this movie, but
that's a real low. Well, it's all new talent apparently.
yeah, they're all I was gonna say they're probably all really young, and they're probably excuse me, they're probably all like they're probably like unknowns and stuff, which is fine because that's the kind of thing. That's the kind of
now
thing.
Jake Horowitz, I've heard of him before. I'm trying to see what he's been in that I may have seen.
Now, wait a minute, I recognize that name, and I don't even watch horror movies that often.
Well, I don't.
Well,
think
recognize. I remember that name.
I looked it up, and I don't recognize any of these films he's been. He's only been acting since like 2012. Yeah.
I must be confusing him with somebody that was back in the day doing more behind the scenes stuff rather than acting, which I do a lot.
So far, they're all very, very little information.
He does Broadway stuff, if that helps, and off Broadway.
He might actually be that Jake Horowitz guy. Might actually be the biggest actor in this film too.
Yeah.
I'm looking up all these other people.
All right, I'll wait for Skunk's review before I give it a shot.
Well, I mean, if you haven't seen the original Castle Freak, I mean, definitely go see that for sure. Well,
it's not my genre, but you know, I don't hate this sort of thing.
It's like what was it? The Puppet Master series. I'm not talking about the Heinlein version. I'm talking about the puppet version.
Yeah.
Well, that one in particular is very, very weird. Because the thing with Puppet Master, from the very beginning, the very first Puppet Master movie, all the way through, has always made it a point that Andre Toulon was against the Nazis.
Yes.
And then they came out with Littlest Reich, which was a reimagining of the series. And
they reversed the trope?
Not a reboot, because apparently they're still going to make actual Puppet Master movies going the other direction. But a reimagining, an alternate universe, if you will, where what if the puppets were Nazis? Which they've already done, sort of, in one of the other films.
I thought all Nazis were puppets.
Where they had Nazi puppets. But in this one, it was what if the classic Puppet Master puppets were actually Nazi themed, and there wasn't just like one of each, like a whole line of blades, a whole line of torches, a whole line of tunnelers, right? That were like Nazi toys or something that were like collectibles, and all these people were trying to get their hands on them because they're rare and valuable and stuff. And it was, I don't know, it was a really weird movie, very weird movie. Right. But basically, once the movie starts to kick into high gear, it takes a little bit. But once it gets kicked into high gear, it goes to 11. And it's pretty awesome, actually. And weirdly enough, it took me I was watching that movie. That's because if I remember correctly, it's about an hour and a half long film. If I remember correctly, it might even be shorter than that. And it just felt longer. But I want to say I got about 45 minutes to an hour into this movie. And I suddenly went, that's Dangle. The main character is Dangle. From Reno. And it finally clicked. I was like, oh my God, it's Lieutenant Dangle. He shaved his mustache and started wearing pants. It's just because there's a line that he's trying to rally the troops against the puppets because all these people are at this convention, and he finally says something, and I just went, "That's Lieutenant Dangle," and it was cracking me up for the rest of the film. But it was a really good movie. It had some really cool death scenes in it. And there's also at one point there's a dude watching wrestling for no reason. And I was sitting there and I was more interested in what the wrestling he was watching than whatever it was trying to kill him. There's a lot of weird stuff in that movie. It's a very gory film. If you don't like gore, don't watch it. But it's pretty cool. Castle Freak, of course, is a Stuart Gordon movie. It was under. I don't think it was Full Moon. I want to say Empire. I know Charles Band had something to do with it. It was also a very gory film.
I've got a question, and I should know this, but I can't remember it. It's off sideways what you were talking about. There was at least 2 movies, one in a sequel. There might have been some more. One of them was subtitled "Demonic Toys," and it was about a guy that was teeny tiny,
Dollman
landed on Earth. Dollman, thank you. Yes,
Dollman is
that's exactly right.
Dollman is.
I love that. I love
what's
that.
the actor's name? Tim.
It's Tim Thomerson.
Yeah, he was in Xena and Hercules and several other things.
Yeah, he plays Brick Bardo. The whole entire reason that he's called Dollman is because him and the bad guy that he's chasing are from a planet where they're normal size, but when they land on Earth, they're only 13 inches tall. Yeah. So like it's I mean, they do some really cool special effects in those films. And they literally had a crossover where it was Dollman versus Demonic Toys.
Yeah.
Which the Demonic Toys is like, so okay, you have Puppet Master, right? Demonic Toys is from the same guy. Because Charles Band loves to do miniature stuff. That's his whole thing.
Okay.
Miniature stuff, you could spend 25 Jack Death is Trancers, Chris. You can do for $25,000 you can make a movie, right? So that's basically his whole entire thing. This is like miniatures. We'll just make everything out of miniatures, and we'll make a movie, and then we could put it out direct to VHS and make millions. And that was that's Full Moon's whole entire plan, was to just make rental movies. You couldn't even buy the movies. In order to buy a copy of Puppet Master way back in the day would have cost you like upwards of $90 just for a VHS tape, because the point of it was you're supposed to buy this movie and then it's your VHS tape that goes into your video rental store. You make more money off of the rentals than you do off of the tapes. And the tapes
you make a dozen copies and rent them out every weekend.
The tapes are so expensive because the tapes are designed to be sold specifically to rental stores, nobody else. So they got to make them, because they're not going to get money off of selling the movies any other way. That was the model that Full Moon practiced on. So these movies, he did everything with miniatures. Even if he was producing the movie, it was miniatures and CGI. That was it. That's what he pulled for, right? So he had Demonic Toys. It was like, the best way of describing Demonic Toys would be to say, like, Demonic Toys is like Puppet Master, right? He's clicking through all of them.
Yeah.
Chris
just to get them up on screen so they can be seen for people that watch the replays.
Okay, well,
and we actually get a lot of people watching replays. We get more replays. We probably get about 600 views by the end of the week.
Oh God, you mean that many people have watched me nod off during one of these shows?
Yep,
you betcha.
Oh God, my reputation is ruined.
The best way.
No, it's just confirmed.
Well, the best way to describe Demonic Toys as a series, right? Because they only have a few. They only have a few movies. It wasn't that popular of a series. But the best way to describe Demonic Toys is take Puppet Master and make it absolutely filthy, like the filthiest. There's a character in that movie named Baby Oopsie Daisy. And Baby Oopsie Daisy is one of the Demonic Toys. And he has a line in the movie where he's all like, I can walk, I can talk, I can even shit my pants. Can you shit your pants? It's that kind of a film. It's pretty funny.
Mm. Now, I've only got access to 2 Dollman movies. Was that all that was ever made?
Well, I know Dollman. There was Dollman versus Demonic Toys. I want to see.
Because it was a good series. I liked it.
Nah, those are the only two. It was Dollman and Dollman versus Demonic Toys. I didn't
Okay.
know. Yeah, so those are the only two. And then yeah, so there's a Dollman versus Demonic Toys is also is technically also a sequel to another Full Moon feature called Bad Channels, which
Tell me about that.
Bad Channels is aliens take over a radio station with the intention of capturing female humans, and the hero's a DJ who's forced to combat the aliens because the listeners think he's kidding. It's a War of the Worlds taken to the next extreme. But the problem with the movie is that it's a produced by Charles Band film. And if you don't know anything about Charles Band, let me paint a picture for you, Dan. Charles Band literally has a website where he sells bras, like lingerie, but it's horror themed lingerie. So they've got like mouths or like eyeballs or brains in them. So, like if you were a girl, you know, and you put one of these bras on it and make your tits look like eyeballs or brains or like skulls and stuff. That's the kind of stuff he sells. He is an exploitative director, the best kind of exploitative director. He's awesome.
Okay. I was looking through Tim Thomerson's IMDb portfolio there.
Yeah.
And I came across 2010, Bring Me the Head of Lance Henriksen. Have you seen that movie?
No, that sounds awesome.
It sounds exactly like something that's up your alley. Because you go to, it sounds goofy as hell. Go look at the stars in it.
Okay, I'm gonna look this up because the title reminds me of Being Sean Malkovich.
It sounds about the same, strangely enough. But
has anybody seen Mel Gibson's Fat Man yet?
No.
No. I kind of gave up on Mel Gibson several years back, but
you got to watch this one. Mel Gibson is Santa Claus.
Okay. Yeah. So I want to point this out, what he's talking about real quick. Literally everybody in this movie is playing themselves.
Yes.
And it is an all-star cast of people from the 80s.
Adrienne Barbeau is in it.
Yeah, Martin Cove is in it. Serena Vincent's in it. John Saxon, Casey Sanders, John
Saxon, yeah.
Yeah. Art LaFleur. I mean, it is an all-star cast of everybody that was in action and horror movies in the 80s.
Martin Cove is doing commercials for a finance company. He'll do anything.
I once went to one of my friends from college did assistant special effects for Swamp Thing, and he got to work the smoke machine for Adrienne Barbeau's topless scene.
Hell yeah!
And at one time, the director called him down and said, "Too much smoke, dude." I mean, he's just sitting there pumping the damn machine. So they had to do a retake, which I'm sure he was very upset about.
Yeah, sounds like a perfectionist.
Well, he was something that began with a P, but I wouldn't call it perfection. But
oh man, looking at that thing for the Bring Me the Head of Lance Henriksen did remind me John Witherspoon died a couple years ago. It's sad. It's not like John Witherspoon. He's funny as hell.
Well, this same guy actually filmed one of his student movies for University of Georgia in my apartment in my backyard, and the star he got to play a ghost was a current at the time Playboy Playmate, and I was not allowed in my own house for the filming of this. but I did get to see it before it was released to his college class for his project. So,
And
when you said John Witherspoon passed away,
oh,
we
but-
lost Squiggy today.
yeah,
Yeah,
oh my
David
god,
Landers.
that broke my
oh
damn
man,
heart. We lost a bunch of people this week, though. It's kind of messed up that happened, but it did. Who else did we lose? Me and my buddy
And
the other day.
now
We
that I'm almost
We lost Morton Joe, and technically we also lost Toe Cutter in the same death because it was the same guy. We also Pat Patterson from the WWE. He passed away.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, now that I'm almost 55, Squiggy was only 71. That ain't too damn old.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I mean, like,
especially not from where I'm standing.
yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and talk about ages when people die. People die of all sorts of stuff in different ages, stuff like that. It's sad. I don't want to make anybody feel uncomfortable. Hey, let's not make people feel uncomfortable. Let's make people feel awesome.
Hey, Joe, come back.
I need.
Yeah.
We need to make a movie about us.
Oh God.
Stupid Cuts Deep. Take one.
There you go. Well, I'm about to go.
I believe we will all be typecast for that.
I want to go use it. I want to go use the restroom real quick, right? And then we'll come back and we'll end the show. But as I go use the restroom, I want everybody to take a look at my magnificent, beautifully cut hair today.
I noticed you had a little side trim there.
Yeah, looking good, huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
On top too. Yeah. Right
All
here.
right.
Gonna knock them down.
Hey, skunk. Hey, skunk.
Hey, look at
Oh,
my
well.
ass. So walk away.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Groovy.
He couldn't hear me hollering skunk because I had my damn mic muted again.
No, I heard you. He already had his headphones
You already
off.
had headphones off. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, shit, I just dropped.
I heard you and saw his butt crack. I will not be the same.
Yeah.
I'm not touching that line.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh.
can you imagine if we did make a movie about us doing this show?
Be kind of like Seinfeld, I guess.
Or Spinal Tap. You know, this is Spinal Tap. Make a move, make an actual, put it in the movie theater movie about making a web episode or whatever you want to call it.
A screencast.
Brian Morris has said, what we do here is something completely different in this type programming, and us making it work is amazing.
All we do is clown around.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, hey, some of the best like shows and podcasts and stuff like that are just people talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're damn good at that.
Hey, I do know this. We need to get Nick Tockard back on.
Oh, yeah.
Caffeinated.
Oh,
I don't know if we're ready for that.
I was about to say, I mean, he was already.
Please, Joe, make it a Saturday night because Thursday I was up till 3 a.m. talking with 3:30 a.m. talking to him, and I had to go to work at 6 the next day.
I'd rather talk to him on a Saturday as well, but I also we have to remember something, Dan. I have to remember something.
He got to take care of his kid.
Well, no, that wasn't even where I was going to go with that.
Oh,
but Nick is a Christian. He might have church. And I don't want to be responsible for him not making it to church in the morning. I'd make me feel bad.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah,
although I've got to observe that the local churches around here are going to online services only because of the virus.
Not all of them, but yeah, I see what you're saying. And
Well,
local to me is not local to you. There's a 90 minutes drive difference. So
That's true. That's true. But you want to know what is 100% accurate no matter where you are, Dan?
go for it.
Joe beat you to it.
I'm having flashbacks.
Oh, did that happen?
Yeah, when you
did,
got
as
up
you're walking
to go,
away.
he played it.
We saw your ass crack, and then it was almost the end of the show.
John,
I got
don't
up. And
ever mention that again.
I got up and I realized
Ever.
that my
I'm
pants were hanging down.
wondering if the two are related somehow.
Yeah, I saw that.
Hey,
And luckily, it was where I could play that.
Hey,
You got-
Skunk.
But you guys heard what I said when I turned around to turn the camera off, right?
Yeah.
No,
As I walk away, you can look at my ass crack.
Hey, Skunk. What kind of
Amazingly
speaker is that
enough,
behind
we
you up
did.
there on the wall?
Wait, which one?
The one up on the wall, the one up higher, right behind your head right now.
That one?
No, up above, up and to your left, I guess.
Go
These?
further.
Yeah, those. Yeah, okay. That's two speakers. Okay.
Speakers.
Let's say
Nice
that
looking
was-
speakers, yeah.
Yeah, those are two speakers stacked on top of each other. Those are, if I remember correctly, I want to say.
Go over there and look at the name.
Well, they're MTX audio. I can tell you that. They don't manufacture these specific speakers anymore. They are MTX Thunder 1000s, if I remember correctly.
Have you ever had to rebuild them?
They need rebuilt.
hey, do you still have those speakers you got from me?
Joe, they're right here.
Oh, that's them. Okay.
Right there, dude.
Hell, it's been so long since I've seen them. I forgot what they look like.
If you look
Mm.
back there, you can see the other ones that you gave me too. They're behind me. There's that
Okay.
one. There's two up there. There's that one. The one that I got a speaker back here. Joe swears fell off the back of a truck. And
It did fall.
the problem is, knowing Joe, that's exactly what happened.
It did. It was.
It literally fell off the back.
Hopefully the truck was not moving very fast at the time.
Well, it's in great. The cab's in great condition. There's just a part of it missing, but I think Joe
The,
pointed out
the
it was already
speaker-
missing.
the speaker was mangled. I just left the speaker laying on the side of the road. I did. I actually drove past it on 153 between CB Robinson and the dam. I was headed for the dam. I saw it. I saw what it was. I peeled off, went, grabbed the trailer, came back, picked it up. Me and my son loaded it in the trailer, and my wife was cussing the whole time.
Now, I want to point out something that I saw the other day, Joe.
And we got to wrap it. We got
I
to
know.
wrap.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna make it
Wow.
quick. I was driving down the road. I
Yeah.
saw a pickup truck had speakers in the back of it, right?
Yeah.
And it looked like with the speakers and whatever else they had in the back, they were heading down to the dump. So I was gonna be all like, "Whoa, what do you guys want for them speakers?" I'll take those speakers because they were really nice cabinets. I thought they were taking them down to the dump.
Mhm.
And then I got up next to the vehicle and I looked. It was a mariachi band.
Those were in use.
I was like, never mind. Just let him go. The guy looked at me funny. Like he had the suit on and everything. He just didn't have the hat because he was driving.
All right, we got to wrap it up. Say goodnight, everybody.
Good night,
Good night,
everybody.
everybody.
Oh, I have slept the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter-silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds and done 100 things you have not dreamed of. Wheeled and soared and swung high in the sunlit silence. Hovering there, I've chased the shouting wind along and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air. Up, up the long, delirious, burning blue, I've topped the windswept heights with easy grace, when never lark nor even eagle flew. And while with silent, lifting mind, I've trod the high, untrespassed sanctity of space, put out my hand and touched the face of God.